I'm now going to read a few stories over the coming weeks from my new book, The Night People, The Supraliminals. And this one's called No Love and Light, Just Scars in the Night. And basically they're about my own experiences with these beings that I've come to call the Night People. So I'll begin. The last time that I remember them coming with intent was between August 1997 and February the 26th, 1998. And when I say came with intent, by that I mean they left me with undeniable physical scars. However, the wounds that they left on my arms and back were nowhere near as painful as the torment that they leave inside your head after an abduction. And my heart goes out to anybody who actually has suffered these kind of torments, because you'll know exactly what I mean. It's the frustration of knowing it happened and at the same time being powerless to stop it. It's a feeling of vulnerability like no other. But the world is in denial, and the population believes beings like the Night People do not exist. Or if they do, they only belong in the minds of crazy people like myself. Does not matter what a person says or thinks, this phenomena cannot be outthought, outmanoeuvred. It is impassable. Back in the 1990s, Mary and I loved going out at weekends after working hard all week. In those days, they were good times to be alive, and we were making the most of them. I suppose we were at that transitional stage in our lives, placed between getting older but still young enough to go out and have great fun. So we took full advantage of it. Our girls were all becoming independent young women, and although they still lived at home, we no longer needed babysitters. For that reason, we always looked forward to the weekends. Now, by looking through my medical notes, I can even date when most of these incidents happened. And one of them, Scars in the Night, that I'm talking about now, took place in the early hours of Saturday the 27th, 1997. And I kind of wonder if everything that happens has already been decided. Everyone's highs, everyone's lows. Or do they instinctively know? And Saturday the 27th was the day they had to come. Do we all have a calendar of moments? If that is the case, could living in ignorance be a kindness? They must have some kind of advanced knowledge. How else could they have known that I was not in an environment where it would have been hard or even impossible for them to take me? Perhaps in their world nothing is random. Perhaps they create the script and the environment for every one of us. Holding on to that thought is a frightening concept to come to terms with. And I truly believe the subtitle of Truth Proof 2, Beyond the Thinking Mind, is a clue. I have observed that all, if not most, of my amazing experiences with these beings occurred when I least expected them. During the hours of darkness, when the mind is detached from reality, or moments when I've stepped away from everyday life and all its trappings. These are the times when the mind is unlocked from everyday life, and these are the times when they choose their moments best. We did not go to bed that night until after 1 p.m. It had been a great night full of fun and laughter. Our bedroom was on the first floor at the back of the house, and at some point during the night I recall seeing lights outside the bedroom window, which was odd. We never usually saw anything like that. Not like these lights. There are houses at the back of us, but they are a good distance away, and nothing was so bright that it could light up the inside of the bedroom. For some reason I just lay there watching them, like a rabbit caught in the headlights. I see now how that process works. But I was not switched on enough to realise at the time, a bit like the rabbit seconds before the bullet hits it straight between the eyes. I would describe the lights as being as bright as car headlights on full beam, if they were turning in the road and hitting the curtains. However, there are no roads behind our home, and these lights were moving around the walls like spinning wheels. Experience has made me very alert to any sound or strange occurrence. But in this instance, I don't recall doing anything except watching the lights. I remember it as vivid today as it was back in 1997. The saddest part is that I only remember part of something that I know was much more detailed. That is why these recollections are so frustrating. They are just different to anything else we as humans experience. I saw their outlines at the bottom of the bed, 2 of them, sort of appearing and reappearing and vanishing in and out of the light. Couldn't see any detail, just the dark shapes. Then nothing, just a huge gap where the night seemed to jump to the next set of memories. Suddenly a sharp pain ripped into my back. I remember it hurting so much that I screamed, but I never heard the scream, not outside of my head. I know that I was awake and that I screamed, but no sound came from my mind. How does that work? Did the silent scream detach me from whatever it was or they were doing to subdue me? With my ability to move or not make any audible sound silenced, I just lay there wondering what had happened. My back hurt so much that I'd temporarily forgotten about seeing anything earlier. I think I was in bed. At least that's what my mind was telling me, but my whole body felt strange. I'm not sure if the pain was being masked. Once again, I'm attempting to describe something with inadequate words because nothing really compares to the way I was feeling. Therefore, all I can do is offer the closest comparison I can think of, and that would be that my whole body felt numb. Similar to when the blood supply is temporarily cut off from an arm or a leg. It just feels different until life pours back into it. That was how my body felt. The pain would not allow me to gather my thoughts. My mind was all over the place. For a time I actually thought I was being stabbed in the back with a knife. Then when I realised what was happening and they were here, it was them that was responsible for the pain. I began saying the words, try and remember, try not to forget, remember as much as possible. Conditioned to the condition. I wanted to move but I couldn't. My back felt as though it had been impaled on a spike. I know that must sound dramatic, but the pain was off the scale. The only things not paralysed were my eyes and my mind, and my head was so confused by the information my eyes were receiving. Everything else that was me had been disabled. I wonder if they take information directly through our eyes. Could that be one of the reasons for leaving part of me conscious during the abduction? Alternatively, the pain inflicted enough to snap me from the situation. Could that be what happened? I'm sure everything done throughout the entire process is for their benefit, or I would see and remember much more. Fear replaced pain, or the pain subsided. I don't have a clue in what order it happened, if I'm honest. I was just scared to death. Maybe I forgot the pain because I was suddenly reduced to feeling like that little boy who used to cry in the night. More to follow. I hope you enjoyed.